Military records show the U.S. soldiers killed in Niger 3 weeks ago had little to no combat experience. Pentagon officials today plan to brief the House and Senate Armed Services Committees on the attack that killed 4 Americans. Lawmakers want to know how Sergeant David Johnson was separated from the unit and if he was alive when wounded soldiers were evacuated. His body was found 2 days later. Margaret Brennan is at the Pentagon. Margaret, good morning.
Good morning. Well, 4 American and 4 Nigerian soldiers were killed as their patrol sought information on a terrorist considered a high-value target who had recently been spotted in the area. The ambush has been described by military officials as a complex attack involving small arms fire and rocket-propelled grenades. Military service records released by the Pentagon show that Sergeant David Johnson and the 3 other mortally wounded U.S. soldiers had little to no combat experience. For Sergeant Dustin Wright, whose remains arrived at Dover Air Force Base the day after the attack, Niger was his very first overseas deployment. A Special Operations Command spokesperson told CBS News the men had all completed pre-mission training required before such deployments.
It's a dangerous business.
President Trump on Wednesday said his generals approved the mission and he was just learning details.
I gave them authority to do what's right so that we win. That's the authority they have. I want to win, and we're going to win, and we're beating ISIS very badly.
The ambush was towards the end of a 24-hour mission. The patrol had just met with elders in Tongo Tongo and had loaded up on fuel and water. Upon leaving, the attack began. An hour into the firefight, the patrol called for help, and French forces arrived 60 minutes later. Once the military realized Sergeant Johnson was missing, a Dust 1, or duty status whereabouts unknown, was declared, triggering an intense search. The commander of U.S. forces in Africa, General Thomas Waldhauser, asked the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Joseph Dunford, for help, and U.S. commandos based in the region were launched.
At that point, knowing that we had a missing soldier, we made a decision to make sure that all of the resources, to include national assets, were available for the recovery of that operation.
It is still unclear whether this was a pre-planned attack, but investigators believe it was carried out by an ISIS offshoot operating in the region. According to military officials, that group is led by this man, Adnan Abu Walid al-Sahrawi. He commands just 40 to 60 fighters, but he's got allies throughout the region. Gayle?
All right, Margaret, thank you.